Good evening and welcome to Africa's Vision Network. I'm Robin Roberts, your host. Mr. Kpodo was born in the Volta region of Ghana. He is a member of the Airway group that occupies southeastern Ghana and the southern parts of neighboring Togo and Benin. He lived in the United States for 19 years where he received his postgraduate degree at Washington State University. He also pursued further study in the field of paralegal. Being a Pan-Africanist and a visionary, he started an organization called Voice of United Africa, a charitable, nonprofit community organization. He set up a Pan-African magazine, Voice for Unity, and originated Africa's Vision Network television in 1992. He has worked tirelessly for the uniting of people of African descent to ensure our history is told to others. He is the president of the School of Hotel, Restaurant, and Tourism Management and the executive director of Sema World Beach Resort in Accra, Ghana. He has two daughters, Senna and Tonya Lee, and a son, Mawakwan Kowenya.
Yeah, that's correct.
Thank you. Which means only God knows. A recent addition to the family is his granddaughter. He is married to Inyanam and resides near the ocean not too far from Accra. Our producer has known Mr. Kpodo since meeting him at Marcus Garvey Day at the W.E.B. Du Bois Center in Accra, Ghana in August 1993. We are happy to have him with us this evening, so sit back and relax. Mr. Kpodo, we are pleased to have you as our special guest.
Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Mr. Kpodo, is there anything else you would like to tell the audience about yourself that we forgot in the introduction?
No, really. I think we have covered everything altogether, I think, if not more. What you said, I don't know if I deserve all that. you have done the magic already. So.
Oh, thank you. I'm sure you deserve everything. Well, could you tell us how did you become interested in Pan-Africanism?
Well, Pan-Africanism is quite a difficult and interesting concept. And I would say that any African or African descent living today must have some kind of Pan-Africanist tendency in him or her.
Mm-hmm.
I would say my interest actually may be inborn, but then particularly growing up, being a curious child, I read about our first president, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, who actually led the country to independence,
Mm-hmm.
and who in fact have a passion and love for the African people and wanting to do what he could to actually bring us together to build our continent up. I think that's why it started from, and I felt it's a good thing that any conscious African will actually look for in order to actually see how we can develop our resources and what have you. So I would say the interest started after reading about our first president that was years ago.
Okay. And how can the diaspora assist in improving the economic conditions of countries in Africa?
Well, that's a heavy question. By all the natural resources that you can think of.
Yes.
Out of Africa, other worlds were built.
Mm-hmm.
And as we speak now, I would say that Africa is still a virgin,
Mm-hmm.
because majority of the natural resources are actually not tapped.
Okay.
Those that are being tapped and used now are not necessarily controlled by us.
Mm-hmm.
The Westerner or the European more or less dominating in all the aspects with the technical know-how and what have you. At this point of time, I think the African descent or the diasporan African, after acquiring the know-how,
Mm-hmm.
being more or less brought up in different cultures and what have you,
Right.
I think they can do a lot. But before that lot is done, we have to forge the path for the African on the continent and the African diaspora to see how we can relate and come together and understand that we are one and we are brothers and sisters. Once that understanding is then we can come up with a blueprint as to what we actually need to do to develop the continent up, using the expertise that they have, using the natural resources that we have over there, and see how we can do things. So, but first and foremost, for them to come in and say want to assist with the talent and what have you, we must understand ourselves. We must know how we can relate. Because right now the forces have actually created an environment that we see each other as enemies.
Okay.
We've lost trust for one another. So until we are able to bring those things back, no matter how experienced they are and whatever, it will not amount to anything. Okay. So if we forge the ground to actually understand ourselves, and both of us realize that there's the need for us to actually develop our continent for the benefit of mankind, then we can look back to those expertise and see how we use them.
So, Mr. Kpodo, how do you think we can forge this reunion?
Yeah, the reunion, for this reunion is very easy because the world is, we're told, it's a global village. The communication is now the key to everything. I think we have to find a common ground that we can communicate with one another. All right, try to catch up on how we've been brainwashed and how we can diffuse that and what have you. And also bring the interest of moving from one end to the other. Can make create an enabling environment for, particularly for the African in the diaspora, to make a trip to the continent.
Oh.
Right. Okay. It is very, very paramount because we can talk so much, but they say seeing is believing.
Yes.
Okay. If I tell you this and this, you have not seen it. It's just some air just blowing through your ears. So it is absolutely necessary for us to create the environment whereby it will be easier to travel, even if we have to go through particularly the Afro-centered institutions to make it part of their curriculum or whatever, so that maybe they take some courses in Africa,
right,
or come out for some internship, go in for 2 weeks, just come back and write a paper on it, something like that.
Okay.
Then we get to how do people live over there? Is it true that we are still living on trees, or are we eating animals and things of that nature? Which is a myth. So if we get to know what we really have, because I can tell you we have all the resources and things of that nature. It's just but if you go there and say, hey, oh, this is gold,
right,
which we have in abundance.
Yeah.
We now have oil, everything that we have it over there. So, but if you don't go there, if somebody tells you, measuring your own personality. Okay. So we have to create an environment to forge that transition. We have to create an environment whereby traveling is easy. If we have to bring the African heads to actually be part of this movement, get in touch with the airlines. Some Africans have their own airlines, it is of that nature. We can have it and have what? If it is so high and 2 people come, you won't have money.
Yes.
So that's the first step that we need to look at.
You own a resort,
yeah,
and a hotel. So, and I understand that a number of people of the African diaspora, African descent, have come to your resort. Can you share some of the comments they may have made, or the way they felt, to actually get back to the continent?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, the resort I have, I call it just a small resort. It's on a 2-acre land, open into the Atlantic Ocean. And when people come in and see it, especially the diasporan Africans, when they come in, they say, oh, brother, you have this?
Yeah.
To be honest with you, it is nothing to write home about.
Mm-hmm.
To just jump out, oh, this is it. But when they come, how they marveled and this or that. Yeah. Because we all know to get a beachfront property in this country.
Yes.
Yeah, but over there it's easy.
Mm-hmm.
It's easy if you put your mind to it and what have you. And then they come in and the sea breeze hit them and say,
Yeah.
gee, this is where I want to be. I don't want to go anywhere. So that is the expression on their faces and their lips when they get there.
Well, nice to hear that. Looking forward to getting there soon myself.
I can't wait.
How can people on the continent connect with the people of African descent in the diaspora?
That's what I said earlier. Right now, in fact, we have been so brainwashed negatively against each other.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it is very, very difficult to say, hey, come home, can do this and what have you. One shocking thing is that some African Americans get when they get here, is that they realize that the reception is not as warm as they expected.
Okay.
But they would able to see the European reception is much forthcoming and things like that.
Okay.
Again, that more or less got to confirm how we've been so much conditioned to think about ourselves.
Okay.
I set an example before I come to this. When I went back several years ago, I was in a restaurant, and then an European walked in with his partner. I went there first, but as soon as they saw this, and they were coming towards me, as soon as they ran to.
Okay, yes.
So that is the reception that when our brothers and sisters come and they see that, they say, what is this?
Mm-hmm.
So we are doing everything possible to actually overcome that.
Mm-hmm.
Overcome that. Now, what do we do to actually, the two of us?
Mm-hmm.
Those on the continent, I think they have more upper hand to reach out.
Okay.
Because they have lived there all their life.
Mm-hmm.
They know what is there and what have you. They must have the understanding that we are one.
Okay.
Though history or event of things made it apart, we are one. We cannot just, if we are sitting down here, nobody knows until I talk, you hardly can tell who is who.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
True.
So we are one. So the African on the continent must have that understanding that is because of events that things are this way. So now let's reach out to our brothers and sisters outside the continent and see. Likewise over here, the brainwash has taken toll on us over here,
Right.
to the point that we don't know any other world.
Okay.
Which is a fact. It is not our making, because this is the only place that we know.
Right.
Now we are being told that, there's somewhere that we can go, but we don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
So how do we actually? So we have to also be ready and willing to find out. Let us not be so convenient that we are in this environment, we can get this is here, that is here, why do I want to go? As I said of the air, Africa has everything, all the natural resources, and we have the talent. And
Right.
part of the talent is here in America, the African diaspora.
Yeah.
So we can use this talent to develop Africa for Africans.
Okay.
And not only for Africa, for the whole world. Because all the resources that is used here were taken from Africa.
Right.
And the talents of the black people are used to build this up.
That's true.
Now we have the resources still there. There's a saying that what a thief can only take but so much, but not more than the farmer.
Oh, okay.
Okay? So we have so much over there. We just need us to come together and put our minds together. Then we can build a place up. So we both have to have the effort, that to reach out, to have the free mind that, yes, let's learn. Let us not be concerned about what they want us to hear and we learn and think that is the world. No, it isn't. So, yes, Africa, we have to design the environment to reach out.
Okay.
And the diasporan African must also be ready, be prepared to take in.
How can people on the continent connect with people of African descent in the diaspora?
Well, it's an interesting question, and I'm sure the two must come together to actually do that. But more so, the African on the continent must do more to reach out because, as I said earlier, he is in the homeland and he knows what we have and how we can use it. But for us to come together, we must be ready. Those of us over here must be ready to have the understanding that there is things beyond what is over here.
Okay.
Sometimes we feel more comfortable that hey, this is great and what have you. But there are greater things. As I said earlier, this place was built out of the resources that Africa has and then the talent that the African people provided. So now, for us to reach out, the African government should actually come up with an enabling environment to actually reach out to our brothers and sisters for that connection to take place. We can do that in so many ways. By the connection, let's say, as I said earlier, let's come up with maybe trips, vacation programs, and what have you. Our tourism ministries can play a major role over here to actually put Africa on the map so that all the diasporans are motivated to come that way. And then we can take it from there. So we must be ready on this side of the world to have a ready mind to assimilate and not say, oh, no, I'm not going to go there. And this is this and what have you. Because that's how they want us to think. And that is not true. Let's go and see what is there. And when we reach out, you shouldn't say that, okay, hey, no. Let's go and see it before we make up our mind as to whether or not this is what we want to do or what not.
Okay, so obviously you came to the United States some years ago and you lived here almost 20 years.
That's correct, yeah.
So you overcame in your own personal life any misconceptions you may have had about the United States or other people in the diaspora. How do you think personally you were able to do that?
Well, as a matter of fact, it was quite easy because before I came to the United States, as a curious child, I read a lot. And I know exactly certain things that had taken place in the past that affected all of us. So when I got here, with a curious mind, I wanted to see how things are done. And I realized that things are not the same. The platform is not the same. Some are treated differently. Some, and there are certain obstacles in a way that you can go but this far, you cannot go beyond this and what have you. So looking at that, I said, no, things must change. And that the only way it can change is that when we come together, when we understand ourselves. That was when I got the desire to actually see how I can reach out to particularly our brothers and sisters over here, see how we can do things to develop ourselves. I said it and I will say it until I die, that the resources that God has given Africa, He has not given anything of that sort to any continent in the world. But unfortunately, we, the children of Africa, do not know what we have. Even those at home, we don't really know what we have because of the brainwashing that we have suffered over the years. Our way of doing things no more. We take on foreign activities. Our worship is wrong. Our way of dressing is no way. The way we talk, everything we do is in bazaar. When you do something now, it's like some are viewed you are satanic or whatever. And what have you.
Okay,
that's the conditioning that we have here now. So we have to come together. So that is how I got started. I said, well, I wouldn't say that I've done much, but what I've done so far, even if one person has taken clue of it, maybe he will increase to 2 people, and then the pyramid will go on, and we see how we can do.
Okay, I definitely consider it, quite an accomplishment, especially many of us don't cross the water. We don't get to see what the other side lives like.
Yeah.
So that's great, and it is inspiring for some of us, the rest of us, to be more adventurous and at least try to find out what things are like. You're a Pan-Africanist, so, and I did ask you a question about it earlier, but how did you, well, in this country, Pan-African philosophy is not as well known. How is it in Africa, since, that is the continent and you do have a lot of countries?
Yes, it is difficult. We said the word Pan-African movement, Pan-Africanist, I'm a Pan-African, but to tell you the truth, it's quite discouraging, actually. During the time of Garvey, Brother Malcolm, King, W.B. Du Bois, and several. During those days, you see that yes, they are eager to do something. But I think the structures that are put in place now are more sophisticated. That we've been so much worked on to the point that we don't even want to go there. Okay. Because since the era of W.B. Du Bois, Kwame Nkrumah, and others, you hardly ever hear Pan-African concept in that regards. Since the departure of Kwame Nkrumah, have actually come out to actually say something in that regards and bring people out, that kind of thing. Few people are coming in now, but yes, it is not known here because they're not open to the idea. They're here, they say, hey, look, get this is not. So you're not even looking to actually reach out with your brother to come together and do anything. So Pan-Africanists per se is that we have the passion for African people, that we come together as people to develop ourselves. For African, But right now over here, the notion is not there. We do not understand it because we don't know what it is. Right. Okay. If I'm here, I feel comfortable. It is. Why do I want to get my brothers together and develop myself? I am content. Okay. So until we are told that no, you are not content, and what you are even here is nothing. It's not even a fraction of what Africa has to offer the world. Right. Okay. So if we can put our minds together, being Pan-Africanist or making that movement go on and come together and put and harness our resources, both natural and human talent together, to build Africa up. Europe will be on their knee. All right? Okay. Whatever we face and do whatever they want. This is why This is why Pan-African movement is very crucial at this moment. That we have to find a way to come together as one people. Okay, divided we fall. Okay, but when we come together, nobody can sweep with one broomstick. But when you put a group of them together, you sweep and sweep well.
I agree. Why do you think we're so comfortable, even though we're so fragmented?
We are so comfortable because that is what we have been taught. That is the exposure given us. That you have, so you don't need to come together. I can give you this if you do this. They come to us, all right? They take a whole lot and give us peanut. They come in here, they are only looking for their stomach. They come in, they give you something, they take everything away. For instance, we just discovered oil. But if I tell you the story about the oil now, you'll be weeping. Because we are not together. If we are together, No one will come and tell us, hey, come this way or do this.
Right.
Okay, we produce cocoa. Ivory Coast produce cocoa. Other nations, if we come together, if the outsider wants to buy cocoa, it comes through us.
Okay.
But now we are so fragmented. If we come to Ghana and say, I'm selling you this much money, they say, no, I'll take it. I'll go to Ivory Coast. I'll get it cheaper.
Okay.
That kind of thing. All right. So they'd rather determine the price they want to buy the goods because we are so fragmented. But if we come together and harness all those together, no, come on. They need it. If we say we want to sell it, that's how they can come up with it. But without that, we are completely lost.
And I guess we just don't have that type of mindset that we don't understand what our real position is.
Exactly.
And the education system or the way these ideas are passed down in Ghana, how does that actually work? I mean, why aren't we in control of it?
Yeah, until recently, but for a very long time, all we read in the school system is written by Europeans.
Okay.
So the books we read are the Europeans, so that kind of thing. We're not writing our own books, that kind of thing. So somebody else. So when we finish education, we want to serve that person. Okay. So until we start writing our own books, okay, and start doing things and so we can do it. Right now we've been taught or believe that we cannot do it.
Right.
Okay. So this one, oh, I can do it. So with our hand to it, it can be done. The question I ask so many times, people is, how do they become the way they become? Capital to start with.
Right.
It takes idea and a drive to work for us. But we refuse to do that. We refuse to do that because of the brainwashing and then the conditioning that we now become followers. They keep put structures in place that we have to go through those structures to get to where we want to get to.
Right.
The way we think that our religion is now so much dressed in a way that it is no more a religion anymore. And through that, we think, hey, we can just sit down and God will provide. Okay. So the day comes and we lock ourselves in the churches and what have you, 24 hours praying for manna to come to heaven to help us. No. And the greatest miracle that God has given mankind is the brain and the functioning hands. If we cannot use these two to mold the things that He has given us for our own good, then we must forget it.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So the Pan-Africans, do they have a way for people to, get past this propaganda, miseducation? Like a kind of a theory or some kind of practical ways.
Yeah. There are quite a number of people are writing books now, and talk is going on how we should do things and what have you. Like what Kwame Nkrumah said, is that we must seek ye the kingdom of political freedom, then other things follow. I wouldn't say that we have the political freedom, because though we classify ourselves being independent and things of that nature, I think that we're still dictated to us what we need to do.
Okay.
Until our leaders change their mind, change their mentality, to actually, we have to reorient ourselves, re-educate ourselves, so to speak, so that we can actually do what we should be doing. But if we remain actually admiring and following others, we will still remain this way. So the Pan-Africanist movement, quite a number of things are coming up, but the communication is more serious now than it used before. We are trying hard to reach out and talk about what we have for the African. To be African, first we must develop. You can't feel comfortable in your home if it is not well developed.
Right.
Okay. So we have the resources and we have everything that God has given. We don't have to go out and buy anything. They are there. Okay. We just have to put the brain together. I went to the Inner Harbor area the other day and said, believe it or not, they use so many things, matchsticks, what have you, and that kind of thing. That is in my mind. You sit down and think and do things. But the African has refused to think.
Okay.
Okay, we have refused to think. So we have to actually put on our thinking cap, okay, and critical thinking, so that we can actually come out with things. In the past, Africa was everything the world ever had. We gave everything to the world. Civilization talk about it. But now it's like we are reduced to, I don't even want to say zero. Okay. Zero is even too strong for where we're reduced to. So I can't figure it out. The only thing I can think of is how we've been brainwashed, our way of worship and what have you does not, is very alien to us. And it's not happiness that we lock ourselves out that God is going to provide and what have you. God has already provided. We need to put it to use.
Okay. Yeah, I see a lot of parallels here in the United States with the belief that God is going to deliver you, and maybe not even cognizant of the fact that you're actually waiting for something to happen as opposed to going out with your God-given abilities and talents and making it happen. As a Pan-Africanist, do you have a economic philosophy?
Yeah. In fact, it is a good question that you ask. Perhaps that is why things are the way they are. We do not really have economic philosophy. We actually stress on, yes, coming together, doing things and this of that, but what is the blueprint that we need to? Most of the time, before I left the States, I went around the United States, North Carolina, New York, whatever, talking and this of that, and I rubbed shoulder with other people with similar mindset. But I realized that no, the more we shout, the more we shout, the more we come back to where we want to go away from for help. Okay. Because we do not really have the economic foundation. So at this material moment, yes, it is true that we, as Pan-Africanists, we need to come out with a philosophy, an economic philosophy that will actually empower us. Okay, that is why we're saying that we can do it if we can put our minds together to see how we can put our resources to build the economic base. Then, but if we sit down and just say, oh, this is not good, we have to do this, we have to do that, and we are not building that aspect, they will come, we just go back there and raise our hand for begging. Okay. While we have all the resources there is. So we need to actually now put the equation back to how do we empower ourselves economically so that other things will follow. And that's what I'm saying, that if we come together, we harness our brains and what have you, our talent, then we can use those resources, producing things or whatever. We are all consumers. Yes. Buy and sell and whatever, that's what it is. So if we can begin to manufacture things, use the raw materials, mold them into end product, then we can actually master our economic power. Then we have enough to export. Right. Then we have more for it to do a whole lot of. We have all the things. We have the oil here, we have the cocoa, we have all those things, but we do not prepare them in the finished product. Okay. Okay. They take it in the natural product, take it away, wrap it, and bring it back and sell it to us at cutthroat prices. Right. But we are heading there. We are heading there.
Yes, I would imagine then that a lot of the emphasis in the education, perhaps in Ghana, would be on things like engineering. Where you can actually get the skills. Do you have a lot of universities in Ghana that prepare students like that?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, we do. And again, credit to which is now one of the leading universities in the country. Okay. That we produce technical know-how, and other private institutions are coming out. So, the outsider is very tricky. So they quickly come in, blah, blah, blah. So they get the education, they run away and work for. So if you make a research about how, you see more Africans in more strategic places
Okay.
producing for
Okay.
the U.S. economy. They train there, but they
Okay.
run away. So now what we do to actually make sure that they stay
Mhm.
and they use the talent over there, that is the problem we have to solve now. And we are
Okay.
trying to work on it. Yeah.
So you're still having a talent dream even
Exactly.
in 2014.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
And then now we have a system where is it what U.S. Lottery,
Mhm.
visa lottery, that you do that and then you pick it up and then you are given a visa to come to the United States, stay and work and whatever. They give you citizenship and what have you. Those are all another strategy of what sieving up the talent, whatever.
Right.
Okay. Ordinarily, they will not give it to those who do not have any those
Okay,
with
in
talent.
education. Or,
Yeah, then they pick them up, and you know Africans are so excited because they don't want to develop the place. So when it's hey, opportunity to go to United States, to go to England or whatever, they
Right.
run into it and sometimes. Okay.
Like, yeah, it's a lot of young people
Yeah.
maybe not understanding. For some of our younger viewers, could you speak a little bit about who Kwame Nkrumah was?
Kwame Nkrumah was briefly born in 1909. He was a school teacher. Then he left for the diaspora. He came to came to England and came to United States. Actually, he lived in U.S. for quite a number of years. He went to school over here. And then he joined the Pan-African movement in Europe. There's a strong Pan-African group. He went there for few years and worked tirelessly, bringing. That's where he and Du Bois and others met,
Okay.
and what have you. And then. Because of what he was doing for the people of African descent, there was a group in Ghana at the time trying to actually get some freedom from the British and whatever. So he was more or less invited to come and help or assist them. So he came down and then assisted, but realized that things were not running faster as he expected. So he broke away, formed his own organization and what have you, and then through that gotten independence for the country. And the day of attaining this independence, he said that well, the independence of Ghana is meaningless without a total unification of the continent. So at that time, he said the African identity. So through that, other Africans have been helping them here and there. So Nigeria got independence and what have you. And he was actually trying to bring the African unity to the fore. So he started moving between Ghana, Guinea, Mali, those three countries. But then before he could actually get to the prime, he got overthrown. So that's how, in a nutshell, that's about Kwame Nkrumah. And he did so much for the continent, so much for Ghana. And everything, very selfless. Everything that he did for himself, not for the nation, not for himself. And help other African nations to actually get that power that we need to move on. To the point that at the end, before the last days of W.E.B. Du Bois, he invited him to come and assist him. So Du Bois kept in, renounced his citizenship, and so he lived and died in Ghana.
Okay,
So, he brought in quite a number of people from Trinidad and other countries. So those days, you see that when they talk about it, people, things were moving. We were just children, though, but things were moving out. Looking at over here, the civil rights and what have you, and everything what's going on. Everything is died down because of what? Things have become more sophisticated,
Yeah.
and that we are more relaxed and what have you, and we care less about what happens to the other. But we have to start building structures and stop being followers.
Mm-hmm.
Let's start building structures so that generations to come should build on it. We have not done anything else as black people. There's nothing that one can point to me that.
Thank you very much for your insightful look into Africa, things that are going on with the diaspora. We're going to take a short break now, and when we come back, we'll get the opportunity to speak with Mr. Kpodo's son, Kpodo.
Thanks so much. It's been a great show.
My pleasure. Welcome back to Africa's Vision Network. We have a very special guest today. We have the young Mr. Kpodo. And would you tell us your full name?
Kpodo.
And Mr. Kpodo, would you tell us something about yourself? What school do you go to?
I go to a school called Malacan International School.
What grade are you in?
4th grade.
4th grade. And do you have any special favorite subjects in school?
Math.
Math? Oh, that's very encouraging. What makes you like math so much?
Because if you're not good in math, if you're not good in math and English, you cannot do what other people ask you to do.
Oh, okay. That's very true. A lot of us need to know that. And how many times have you been here to the United States?
Twice.
Could you tell us some of your impressions of, how do you compare United States to Ghana?
United States is a very nice place, and Africa and Ghana is also nice. But I want to say that Africa has more nature, and America also has nature, but more artificial things cover up over here than nature. And Africa has more nature than artificial things. So I want to tell you people that you should encourage people to come to Africa and see what's over there.
Oh, great. Can you tell us some of the, would you suggest any particular places in Africa that we might want to visit?
The Kakum National Park, Elmina Castle, the Moore National Park, the Keta Beach Resort, the Central, the Cape Coast Castle.
Okay, thank you. I think we'll have to put that on the list. We'll have to try to hit those places. When you're in school, besides math, what other subjects do you enjoy?
Maths and French.
French? Okay. Do you speak some French?
Yes.
Okay. And you speak English?
Yes.
Do you speak any other languages?
Hindi.
And Hindi is a language native to Ghana?
No.
Oh, what is that?
Of India.
Oh, okay, okay. Have you been to India also?
No.
You just speak the language. Just brilliant. What are some of your hobbies? I understand that you're a big soccer fan.
Soccer, video games, and reading.
Okay, and reading also. And I understand that you want to have a laptop computer also?
Sure.
And what do you want to do with this laptop when you get it?
I want to I want to talk to my friends and learn more things from the internet because my school we have short homeworks like project work that take us months to do it and has a lot of things to do. So I hope that if I get the computer, it can help me figure out what's supposed to be done.
Okay. Do a lot of your friends, they have computers?
Not
At home?
mostly, not all.
Okay, but some.
Yes.
Can you tell us some of the favorite places you may have been here in the United States?
The Chuck E. Cheese, the aquarium.
Mm-hmm. What did you see at the aquarium?
I saw fishes.
Do they look different than the ones in Ghana, or?
Some of the fishes over there, we have the same thing in Ghana, but some we don't have at all.
Any other places that you remember?
The White House.
Oh, you did get to tour the White House.
Yes.
Wow, that must have been exciting. What did you remember seeing there?
I saw the flower garden and a man riding a statue with a man riding a horse on it.
Oh, okay, okay. That's very difficult to arrange sometimes. So, you didn't happen to see President Obama?
No, he went to China.
Oh, okay, okay. Oh, very impressive. Are there any other places that you plan to go to while you're here?
The zoo.
Oh, the National Zoo?
Yes.
Oh, okay, that's an all-day trip. Very nice. So, when you grow up, what do you want to do?
I want to become a professional soccer player.
Oh, so you are on a team now?
I play for my school's junior team.
Okay, okay. And what position do you play? Okay, a professional soccer player. I guess you would travel a lot playing soccer.
Yes.
Any other sports popular in Ghana in addition to soccer? I know that's very popular worldwide. Are there any other sports?
Swimming.
Oh, okay, swimming. Oh, yeah, you're on the coast. Do you swim also?
Sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Boat racing.
Oh, okay, okay. So do you help your parents out sometimes in the resort?
Yes.
Do you have any official duties there?
No.
But you just help out where you can?
Yes.
Okay. So if you had any wish that you could have come true, what would it be? Do you have any things that you would like to see happen?
I wish I was already grown to play soccer.
Okay. And I understand that you also have a sister, two sisters, right?
Yes.
And I guess it would be a niece?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, a niece. And your niece, what's your niece's name?
Christina.
Christina. How old is she?
1.
1. So do you get to play with her?
Yes.
Does she, enjoy, so you would be sort of like a big brother, wouldn't you, to her? So does she enjoy playing with you?
Yes.
So this visit is the first time you've met her, right?
Yes.
Okay. And do you see your sisters often? Are they in Ghana or are they here?
One is in Ghana, one is here.
Okay, okay. And do you have cousins or friends here in the United States your age?
Yes.
What do you get to do with them while you were here?
I get to play with them.
Oh, you do? What kind of games do you play here?
Modern combat,
Mortal Kombat.
car racing,
Mm-hmm. Any games? Do you play those same games when you're in Ghana?
yes,
What about outside games? Do you go outside? Did you get to play any games outside here?
no,
That's cool.
Oh, it was cold. Yeah, an unusual season this year. We had snow and whatnot. Doesn't usually happen that way. Do you have snow in Ghana?
no,
So, did you see some while you were here?
no,
Oh, you came after the snow. Oh, okay. Okay, you must have just missed it because we had a bit. Besides soccer, what are some other things you like to do?
If my soccer career grows on, I would like to build some companies to become a businessman.
Well, that's something we all need to do. When I grow up, I want to be a businesswoman also. Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Kpodo. And now we're going to invite your dad back on and have some closing words of wisdom, hopefully. Well, perhaps we can get some final thoughts from Mr. Kpodo.
Well, thank you so much for the time. At this material moment, I want to say that we have come too far, but it is not far enough. The time has come that Africans the world over need to come together to actually build ourselves up for humanity to be what God wants it to be. It is us who are going to make that happen. It is very necessary that Africans the world over should find a common ground to actually come together and harness all the talents that God has given us to actually build our continent up for the benefit of the world. And I want to seize this opportunity to thank all of you for actually sticking out to this show and bringing out what is needed to be heard so that we can build ourselves up. I thank you so very much for doing everything that you are doing, and think God will richly bless all your effort so that tomorrow we'll all be together. Thank you so much.
And thank you so much.
I appreciate everything that you guys are doing. Okay. Right.
We've enjoyed it. That's another show with African Vision Network, and we hope that you will tune in to see us again. Thank you.